After Rebirth, I shared an empathy link with Ethan Grant, the male lead of the tragic novel. Mrs. Grant publicly slapped me at the wedding. I touched my unfeeling cheek and turned to see Ethan twisting in pain beside me. Seeing 3 bloody streaks appear on his face, I slapped Mrs. Grant back with a grin. Old hag. Didn't have your Wheaties? That all you got? As the tragic heroine who died from unrequited love, I'd been reborn on the day I first met Ethan. Instead of avoiding him, I let him spot me at the bar again as his precious Luna's replacement. He condescendingly took my hand, his eyes full of disdain for this knockoff version. System, empathy link item exchange successful. System, enable one-way sensory block? Me, block it. After working overtime for a decade in the afterlife, I'd finally earned this reward. Oh Ethan. You'll finally understand the pain and hatred from my past life. You think some gutter trash like you can become Mrs. Grant? Emma Grant blocked my path with her posse of trust fund brats, her diamond-encrusted nails drawing blood from my cheek. How dare you imitate Lulu? As Ethan's sister and Luna's #1 fanatic, Emma had always hated me. I smacked her hand away, ignoring her shocked expression as I pressed closer. What? Gonna kill me? Your brother should be grateful I even looked his way. Without that bastard Ethan, my life could have been normal. No blackmailed family, no surveillance, no bleeding out on some operating table to donate a kidney to his precious Luna. I spat in Emma's face. Your whole damn family belongs in hell. You're the bitch. Emma's slap echoed through the hallway as her friends grabbed my hair. I fought back wildly, grinning through the struggle. Who cares about pain when you can't feel it? Across town, Ethan abruptly clutched his swelling left cheek during a board meeting. Executives gaped at their CEO's suddenly lopsided face, and the clumps of hair cascading from his head like shedding cat fur. Meeting adjourned. Ethan fled the conference room with a bald patch forming, dialing my number only to discover he'd been blocked. Without hesitation, he called his sister instead. The instant Emma's phone rang, I understood. Ethan had always known. Known his sister would attack me. Known about the bullying in my past life. He just never cared. What? Emma snapped into her phone, false eyelashes hanging crookedly from our scuffle. Release her. Now. Ethan's voice crackled through the speaker, as Emma's grip loosened on my hair. I smiled. This was just the beginning. Ethan Grant rubbed his throbbing temples. You will not harass her. Why not? Brother. That bitch deserves, click. Ethan hung up and sighed, instructing his secretary. Assign more bodyguards to her. The secretary called Ivy. Miss. You're the first person Mr. Grant truly cares about. He cares about his own ego far more. Ivy snapped before blocking the number. Almost forgot that little snake. Ethan proved alarmingly perceptive. He'd noticed the system's interference the very first night. He took Ivy to a hotel that evening, treating his replacement with all the tenderness of broken glass. Without preamble, he tried taking her. Then at the critical moment, his face drained of color as he arched in pain. The proud spear wilted instantly. Ivy blinked innocently. It's okay. Floppy can be cute too. His masculine pride shattered. Yet he growled. Woman, don't play with fire. Attempting to push through, only to collapse softer than overcooked spaghetti. What witchcraft did you use? He demanded afterward. Ivy began. Maybe we could. Silence. I'll uncover your tricks. He stormed out shirtless, doors slamming behind him. Since that humiliation, Ethan never touched Ivy again. The butler tried. Miss. You're the first young lady master ever. Spare me. Ivy brushed past the man who'd drugged her tea last lifetime, entering the same gilded cage. In her previous life, Ivy had mistaken isolation for intimacy, being the first woman in Ethan's sterile mansion. As if existing in his echo chamber of empty rooms was some honor. The place was so lifeless even ghostly mahjong games would sound muffled. Cooking his meals while he adjusted to servants. Stranded 8,000 miles from civilization, where shopping trips required Dramamine stocks. Only a lovesick fool would find this romantic. Annoyed, Ivy smacked her own cheek. Stop. Ethan materialized, trapping her against the wall. I forbid you to harm yourself. His towering frame caged her. Don't mistake your position. You're merely her substitute. Ack. Ivy's heel crushed his foot. Self-harm was foolish indeed. But hurting you? That's therapeutic. He glared. Speechless. Ivy commanded. Cook dinner. Fail. And tomorrow I'm taking Emma shopping. Whether he agreed or not. I dropped my words and turned to head upstairs. Ethan grabbed my wrist. Maybe because my profile resembled his white moonlight Luna. His gaze softened slightly. Ethan, what do you want to eat? I only know how to make fried rice. I only know how to make fried rice. Last life he did the same. Mediocre taste. But I used to love it. The last time I ate it was when I was confined in the hospital. Disgusting. Ethan Grant. I hate fried rice the most. His eyelashes fluttered but he remained silent. I shook off his hand and left. The next day, he didn't prepare any food. His white moonlight Luna Summers had returned from abroad. And he rushed to pick her up. I never understood their relationship. She went overseas. Not died, couldn't they video chat? Why torment me? Just because even as a ghost I'd still be their workhorse? The butler looked uncomfortable. Miss Ivy. Mr. Grant just needs psychiatric treatment. I know. I cut off his excuses and headed out. Guards blocked my path at the entrance. Mr. Grant ordered you not to leave. I pointed at the estate's iron gates. Tell Ethan Grant if I can't go out. I'll hang myself from here like a kite today. The guards remained impassive. I tried pushing, couldn't budge them. Fine. Reluctantly, I took Ethan out of my block list. Ethan Grant. I need to go out or I'll eat raw chili peppers and get hemorrhoids. The guard's eyes widened in shock. After a long pause, a soft voice came through the phone. Ethan. Your call. Ethan's careless reply followed. If it's not urgent, hang up. Luna, it seems, about your personal matters. Ethan's annoyed voice came through as he took the phone. What? I repeated my threat. Ethan, Ivy. Stop this. Me, I'm already in the kitchen. Ethan gritted his teeth. Go play. Have the butler give you the card. I took Ethan's guards downtown for wild fun. Since I couldn't escape anyway. Might as well enjoy. At the arcade, I shot at balloons. Missing most but happily using my platinum card privileges. After countless rounds, a young boy appeared beside me. Are you a secret agent? Sis? Your aim is amazing. The kid's eyes sparkled with admiration. Hardly. I'm a spear fisher. Spear fisher? Yeah. At this red lake. Whenever a fish tries to jump ashore, you stab it back down. Whoa, that's so cool. Can I have a plushie? The child pointed at the mountain of stuffed animals. Eyes fixed on the largest Winnie the Pooh. That one? No. The kid's face crumpled. Why not? Because I've been stabbing fish for 10 years. My heart's been frozen solid. Pouting, the brat snapped. I'm rich anyway. I'll buy my own. I like Luna. You're mean. Who wants your approval? Get lost. The kid ran sobbing to a woman nearby. Luna Summers flushed awkwardly, her gaze darting between Ethan Grant and the child before grasping Ethan's hand. Ethan. Maybe Miss Peter didn't mean. Ethan shook her off. Looming over Ivy. Ivy Peter? Your selfishness astounds me. It's just a worthless toy, you've got it backwards. Ethan. Ivy swung her rifle toward him. Bodyguards tensing. I'm keeping it because I despise that brat. And I despise him, because I loathe you. He froze. Lips trembling. Luna hurried to pull him away. Miss Peter. There must be some misunderstanding between Ethan and me, not interested in your soap opera. Ivy scooped up the plushies, dumping them one by one into the trash. Worthless toys. Then why had they been so desperate to trample mine underfoot last life? Ethan didn't return for 2 weeks. When Ivy called demanding freedom, he sneered. Ivy Peter? Your grandmother. Ivy hung up. Of course. The backup organ donor must remain on standby. High heels clicked downstairs. That staccato rhythm Ivy knew too well, the upgraded version of Mrs. Grant. Last life. Ethan manipulated Ivy into marriage. Then legally signed her organ donation consent form as her husband while she lay dying. If Ethan dealt the killing blow, this woman was the psychological torture preceding it. The footsteps marched unerringly to Ivy's room. The door burst open, revealing an opulently dressed woman scrutinizing Ivy like livestock. "You're the harlot seducing my son? The Grants only marry Summer's heirs. Our doors don't open for strays." Her purse lifted Ivy's chin without making contact. "Remember your place. Is this about money? 5 million. Leave my son. Don't just talk. Show me the cash." I held out my hand. The Grant family only wanted my life, only a fool would willingly walk into that trap. Mrs. Grant smirked disdainfully and pulled a stack of crisp bills from her purse, slapping them against my face. "Here's 50,000. The rest will hit your account once you're gone." She actually went to the bank to get physical cash just to humiliate me. "You really went out of your way for this." The sharp edges of the new bills stung. And even without full pain receptors, the force knocked me backward. TSK. Guess it takes a real mother to raise a son like that. Meanwhile, in the restaurant bathroom, Ethan Grant leaned under dim lighting as twin streams of blood trickled from his nose. The paper cut's wound was invisible, but the pain flared bright. "Ethan? Are you okay?" Luna Summers rose anxiously across the table. "Fine. Excuse me." He strode to the restroom and dialed a number, knuckles whitening. "Mother. Don't harass her." Mrs. Grant switched to speakerphone. "I know you've always loved Lulu. Why suddenly marry that girl?" I arched a brow. So Ethan had actually proposed? His determination to harvest my organs was truly impressive. This world's lack of a third panda blood donor was really testing my patience. Ethan's throat bobbed before he rasped. "Mom. Luna's condition needs her last lifetime." He'd framed it as a choice. "You have 2 kidneys. Give Luna 1. She lives. You get wealth and maybe my love." I'd refused. They strapped me to an operating table anyway. I bled out. Mrs. Grant likely expected me to crumble now, to either panic or greedily sell my organs for her blood money. She wanted me to hear the truth, to savor my shattered delusions. Too late. Lady. My illusions died last life. Breaking them again would just be rude. Ethan Grant. Impressive. My voice stayed flat. Silence choked the line. But I meant it. Even knowing our pain was linked. He'd stabbed himself for his precious Luna. A true martyr for love. Mrs. Grant's eyes widened. I kicked her out of the room. Barging in uninvited? Classless old hag. In the bathroom, Ethan's fingertips blanched. A trembling voice pierced the silence. "Ethan, what did you just say?" Luna stood frozen at the door. His white moonlight couldn't stay pure if it saw the rot behind her cure. Ethan's luck had run out. Luna knew. He had stubbornly moved the engagement banquet up by 3 months. I spent the whole morning getting dressed up, looking stunning. Yet I knew I'd inevitably be outshone by Luna Summers. Ethan Grant stood outside the door in a black tuxedo, waiting for me. Maybe because the outcome was already set. He wore a constant smile, even gallantly bending to take my hand. I slapped his hand away. His expression darkened briefly before he regained his perfect composure. The hall was already filled with guests. About a third of them were familiar faces. Emma Grant and her group glared at me with open hostility. I gave them a sweet smile and flipped them off. "Ivy. Behave." Ethan warned. He silenced Emma with a look and then wrapped my whole hand in his. "Aren't you afraid Luna will get jealous?" I nodded towards Luna Summers, who was standing in the corner. She and Ethan had been arguing lately. Even though she'd been cold and distant, she still showed up today. Her eyes, however, were fixed on me. When our eyes met, she walked straight towards me. "Miss Peter, I'd like to talk to you alone," Luna said. Ethan's grip on my hand tightened suddenly. I bit my tongue hard. When he flinched from the pain, I pulled my hand free and walked towards Luna. We were just inches apart when the chandelier above us creaked menacingly. "Lulu! Move!" Emma shrieked, forgetting all about decorum. The chandelier crashed down right where Luna and I were standing. "Look out!" I pushed Luna out of the way. At the same time, a tall figure shielded me from above. The chandelier hit Ethan's back with a sickening thud. He crumpled to the floor, unconscious. Blood pooled beneath him and started creeping towards my toes. Luna suddenly grabbed my hand and pulled me back. I let her lead me away. The crowd stood still, leaving Ethan alone in the spreading pool of blood. "Mrs. Grant screamed. "Doctors! Get doctors here right now. To the hospital." As one of the people involved, I went to the hospital. Luna and I only had minor cuts from the flying glass shards. "Thank you, Miss Peter," Luna said, sincerely grateful. "It's nothing. After all." My attempt to block the chandelier just ended up with Ethan taking the hit. Luna was about to say more, but Mrs. Grant stormed in and slapped me across the face. On the bed, Ethan groaned weakly. "This is your fault. If it weren't for you, my son wouldn't be hurt. He might still die soon. Though," I said, looking at Ethan's swollen face. "You, Mrs. Grant," was so angry she almost swayed. I moved further away on the bench. "How can you be so heartless? You're his fiancé. You can't even take care of him properly." "Fine. I'll take care of him." I stood up and then plopped right onto the hospital bed, and the 4-needle in Ethan's hand. "Mrs. Grant!" screamed and I hurried to stand up. Unexpectedly, the fabric caught my foreline and yanked the entire needle out. The doctor shrieked. "My apologies to the physician here." Luna Summers massaged her temples. "Ivy Peter, let me take over the caregiving." As the male lead, Ethan Grant had remarkable physical resilience. After I spent hours bickering pointlessly with Mrs. Grant, he finally regained consciousness. "Mom? Where am I? Oh great. Amnesia. What kind of CEO constitution is this? Gets his back injured and loses memory?" I approached him declaring, "I'm actually your long-lost father." Still disoriented, Ethan widened his eyes at me. His voice trembled with disbelief. "Ivy, is that really you?" This unexpected development made me purse my lips as I stared coldly at Ethan. Ivy was the childhood name I'd shared with him in our previous life when we were barely considered lovers. I'd told him my name was originally chosen by my illiterate grandfather as Leaf Green, until my better-educated grandmother insisted on changing it to Leaf Grace after consulting dictionaries. Yet Grandpa kept calling me Ivy as a pet name. "Ivy, you've been reborn too, haven't you?" Bandages still wrapped around him. Ethan ignored his bleeding wounds to clutch at my sleeve. My mood turned foul. "Ethan Grant, why don't you just die?" I got thrown out of the hospital room. Mrs. Grant screamed that I'd never enter the Grant family even if Luna died. As if I wanted that. I moved out of Ethan's residence into a 1-bedroom apartment. Without their harassment, my life became peaceful. My savings were sufficient. I bought a cactus named Prickles, making plant survival my new goal. A week later, Prickles died. Timely demise. While carrying the cactus corpse to the dumpster, I encountered Ethan. He'd been watching me take out trash from a distance daily, but today approached. He stood frozen several feet away, palm bleeding where he'd apparently clenched his fist too hard. Me, Prickles, was truly a saint who returned good for evil. Ethan let blood drip down his palm, too afraid to move, looking strangely vulnerable. After prolonged silence, he finally spoke. "Ivy, I'm sorry. I never imagined that outcome. The surgeon was highly skilled. You were healthy. It was an accident. I swear. That would never happen again." "No worries." I tightened my grip on the cactus corpse, letting spines pierce my flesh. "Ethan, I can forgive you." His eyes lit up. "Ivy, name anything, I'll make it up to you." I smiled faintly, Let's keep that IOU for now. Ivy Peter? Let's get married. A sweaty palm grabbed my wrist as Ethan Grant gazed at me with tear-filled eyes. Ivy. I knew you loved me. You won't blame me. You're the kindest girl I've ever known. I nearly burst out laughing. Clearly Ethan's brain had finally short-circuited. Emma Grant's tyranny extended far beyond me. I wasn't her only bullying victim. If memory served from my past life. Around this time she'd drowned another girl who fancied Ethan in a fountain. With the Grant family later covering it up with hush money. Acting preemptively. I'd installed 10 different cameras in that corner a day earlier. After 2 days of surveillance, I witnessed Emma and her clique dragging a girl to the fountain. They forced her head underwater until crimson tendrils bloomed in the clear pool. The girl's struggles growing weaker. Wielding a brick, I charged. Crack. Crack. My full-force blows landed on Emma's skull before I booted her posterior. Her scream cut off as she face-planted into the fountain. Knocked unconscious. I hauled the gasping victim out as police sirens wailed. I've already called the authorities. I sweetly informed Emma's frozen minions. Casually flipping my blood-stained brick. Considering silencing witnesses? At the station. Emma's well-connected friends soon walked free. But justice prevailed when I leaked the footage online. The viral video crashed servers within hours. How could you do this to M? Ethan raged. Already suppressing hashtags. Now Ethan Grant. I soothed. Public shaming won't kill her. I'm saving her life here. You understand making hard choices to protect someone. Don't you? He choked on his own hypocrisy. These were the exact platitudes he'd used on me last lifetime. Let it go. I advised. You said yourself when someone's beyond redemption. I hung up mid-sentence. Hypocrites only care when consequences bite back. The public outcry tanked Grant Corporation stocks. Forced into damage control. Ethan compensated the victim obscenely while fabricating mental illness documents for Emma. On departure day to the asylum, the bandage-mummified Emma croaked, "You bitch." I embraced her tightly. Fingers digging into her wounds. Safe travels. Mrs. Grant. I whispered. Due right from the psychiatric resort. It's not over yet. Sweetheart. Emma Grant collapsed in pain as I pushed her away. She nearly hit the floor before her attendant rushed to support her. Be good. And remember to call me sister-in-law when you return. Ethan Grant had moved up our wedding to divert public attention. The grandiose ceremony naturally positioned me, the Cinderella, as the center of attention. Ethan even arranged live streaming and rehearsed the entire event 5 times. But predictable stability often invites sabotage. Ethan hadn't informed Mrs. Grant about the wedding. Knowing her intense hatred for me bordered on mutual destruction. But I did. Hee. I even mentioned cracking her daughter's skull open, though Emma's head had terrible impact resistance. She might consider getting a replacement. The enraged Mrs. Grant stormed into the venue precisely on schedule, shoving past security and bypassing Ethan to deliver a resounding slap across my face. I'll never accept trash like you into the Grant family. The live chat exploded. Ethan's composure shattered too. I returned the slap with equal force. Old hag. Did you skip breakfast? Put some muscle into it. The director cut the broadcast immediately. But our catfight clip went viral anyway. The wedding halted. Ethan shielded Mrs. Grant while staring at me in disbelief. Ivy, you weren't supposed to. I backhanded him across the face. Don't forget, smacking you comes just as naturally. 10 years. Do you have any idea what I endured? Full-time suffering. Prison was nothing. Can't handle a little payback? How fragile. The elite family scandal achieved its purpose of redirecting attention. But unfortunately worsened Emma's situation. The heat around Emma's bullying-induced death case remained scorching. With a special investigation team formed. Ethan's brows knitted into knots. How did this happen? I concealed my smile. Let's just say there were other contributors, myself included. Ethan's compensatory millions meant for leisure? I funneled every cent into stoking public outrage. As for contributors plural? Turns out someone else was pouring even more resources into fanning the flames, making my efforts look paltry. Seems the Grant family has more enemies than they realized. Plummeting stock prices and rival corporations attempting short selling forced Ethan to abandon Emma. Without protection, Emma finally faced proper justice. Though the initial victim survived, multiple others produced evidence for prosecution. Emma, who loved trampling others, would now get to stomp sewing machine pedals daily. Congratulations! On the day the verdict was announced, I popped open a bottle of champagne. Ethan Grant sat across from me with a gloomy expression. I poured him a drink and pressed the glass to his lips. He took it and sipped lightly. Ivy. Shoo. I smiled. Ethan Grant. I love you. Now it's your turn. Ethan collapsed during a speaking engagement. I supported him to the hospital. Throughout our marriage, we maintained our usual dynamic, attending galas together, handling corporate affairs side by side. So much time passed that Ethan truly believed we'd found our happily ever after. Last month, he transferred half his shares to me. This month, he developed a mysterious illness. Ethan's memory deteriorated daily until he only recognized me. He increasingly confused past lives with the present, sometimes crying my name through entire nights. After his collapse, I assumed all his responsibilities while arranging for Mrs. Grant to vacation abroad indefinitely. Exhausting, I cracked open a capsule for his daily medication. Ethan, where are you? The mansion was eerily quiet. Only one place remained. The attic door's broken lock swung open. Dolls crammed every inch of the space. Ethan sat in the corner, eyes lighting up as he raised a stuffed animal. Look, Ivy. Every toy was something I'd discarded, now meticulously collected. Good boy. I stepped over the plush seat to reach him. Medicine time. He obediently opened his mouth. With Ethan's decline, the Grant family empire crumbled. As his spouse, I reluctantly approved the acquisition. After committing Ethan to a care facility, I used the funds to study abroad. Before leaving, I visited the city's top psychiatric hospital. Hello. Do you have an appointment? Yes. 4Dr. Summers. The nurse verified my phone before leading me to an office. The nameplate read Luna Summers. The door closed as Luna Summers shut off surveillance cameras. Her voice remained velvet smooth. Hello. MS. Peter. Pleasure doing business with you. I handed her my diagnosis. She fed it into the shredder. I don't need these anymore. I returned the remaining pills. Congratulations on acquiring the Grant Empire. I also owe it to Miss Ivy's help. I sincerely thank you. When I found out that the person who paid to trend the hashtag was Luna Summers, I was quite surprised. But as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Since then, I've been in contact with her. She knows about my empathic link with Ethan Grant, how he bears all my physical wounds and negative energies. This made her eager to supply me with special medications. The price? She wants to acquire the entire Grant family empire. And honestly, I'm more than happy to oblige.